good. So what brought you to the NRA? And actually, tell everybody about you. Now that they see you in person, tell everybody about you, why you came down to the NRA Convention, and what the actual 280 means to you.
Well, first off, thank you for having me on. It's just it's been an absolute pleasure. And I came down here specifically for you, okay? And it was a long drive, but that it's worth it when you do it, right?
And I appreciate you coming down here.
Oh, yeah, my pleasure. Anytime. All you have to do is call. But then it's not just. It's also this great convention. Now, the NRA being the country's oldest civil rights organization, that's important. And I was a police officer here in Atlanta. And then, as you know, I was in the Army, and I did some secret squirrel stuff. We talked about that last time,
yes.
Right? America means something. America is more than just a line on a map. It's 230 million great people, but it's also a great idea. We mean something in the world. Christ called us to be that shining city on the hill. Well, George Bush called America the shining city on the hill. We are, and it's worth defending, and it's worth fighting, and that's what these people here do. Now, the Second Amendment is where it is, number 2, because its job is to protect the First Amendment, our freedom to speak, our freedom of religion, our freedom to gather. And so the Second Amendment is vital. If you look at the world today, okay, I was born in Italy. I have deep roots in Europe because my mother's family. There are no gun rights in Europe.
Right.
Look at the mess that's happening there.
Yes.
They took guns away from the Australians. Look what's happening down there. I mean, I'm talking about Canada, right? Everybody knows what's going on there. It doesn't happen here. Why? Because these great people like you, get the word out, and Americans care. And quite frankly, the Second Amendment was set up to protect us from our own government.
But you in a state that has a lot of gun restrictions.
Yes, ma'am.
And there are 20,000 laws just at the federal level alone. We understand what I know, that you're helping a campaign to become the next governor of Maryland. What are some of the policies that he would like to implement when he takes office that's going to protect not only Marylanders, but also the 280?
Sure. Yeah, and you're right. In Maryland, it's probably not the freest gun state out there. They're certainly worse. John is also a former police officer. In fact, he was a sheriff's deputy in Maryland. And like me, he's a combat veteran. He knows what it's like to get shot at. He knows what it's like to have something to shoot back at. He has a deep respect for firearms rights. And yeah, there's some really ridiculous laws. We could go for an hour and you don't have enough electrons, okay? We will run through so many batteries. John wants, and I hate to use this term, but I'm going to use it and then explain it. Democrats like to talk about common sense gun laws.
Yes.
What that means is you have to agree with me while I take your guns away.
There's no common sense gun laws if you're looking at the Second Amendment. There's a period behind the sentence.
Right. For example, in 1756, in Maryland, they passed a law banning all Catholics from owning firearms.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, is that still on the books?
No, that obviously predates the nation, but that was a real thing. And Maryland was a free religion state. Yes, it was set up by Catholics, but for everybody to practice freedom of religion. And they took Catholic gun rights away, and then Western Catholic churches got burned. Okay? So that tells you the importance of it. And John's family goes back to 1640 in Maryland. His family has seen that. So what he wants are true common sense gun laws. In other words, people should be able to carry weapons for their own protection, for protection against the government, and quite frankly, to help the government protect the country. That doesn't mean everybody gets an M1 tank in the front yard.
Right. But if you can afford a tank, wouldn't that be a great deterrent?
Yeah, it would be. And here's something a lot of people don't know. 80% of the cannons that the Revolutionary Army used were private cannons.
No, I didn't know that. I thought that came from the government.
No, private owners. And then all we didn't really have a navy. We had a lot of privateers. People would buy a ship and put a cannon on it. So there is that a very strict definition of the Second Amendment. It should be any military firearm. Now the reality is, you've seen people drive.
Yes.
Do you really want those people who can't drive having a tank?
Well, no, not really.
And don't get me wrong, I've
So
been
how
in
do you-
armor. It's fun.
How do you feel about they're restricting our guns, type of guns that you can get, but they have the guns to take us down?
Right.
Do you feel that we should be able to have the same ability and the same weaponry that our own government has?
Yes, I do. And there's a false term out there, assault weapon.
Yes.
Okay, come on.
Everything is assault as long as you put pound-to-pound pressure behind it.
Yeah, it is. As a police officer, I didn't work homicide. I worked other things. I don't want to talk about those. We had homicides with chainsaw chains, a 2x4, hammers, pointed sticks, a brick. So we can go stupid like they are in England and have knife control, and now they're actually talking about big rock control.
What do you mean? Wait. Big rocks control.
Yeah, they're going to ban people from having big rocks. You can't make this stuff up. If you wrote it in a book, you'd have published it now. No, we should have, in order to fulfill the need for the Second Amendment, yes, we should have parity of firepower. And just because you put scary black plastic things on a rifle, it's not an assault rifle.
No.
Okay, you can use any weapon. That's just them trying to take away the most common, useful weapon. I carried M16s. I carried M4s. They're the longest serving weapon in the Army's history. Are there people who shouldn't have weapons? Okay, they probably should be in mental hospitals or penitentiaries. If everybody had a weapon, there wouldn't be mass shootings. They come to a halt, and that has happened. Citizens have prevented mass shootings. And you're right, in order to protect ourselves from the government, we have to have parity. Now, I happen to love my country. I happen to think the government is capable of big things. Sometimes they go a little overboard. They need to respect the public. And if they don't respect the public, there should be a little bit of fear.
So what do you feel, say the people that have lost all their rights, they've done their time, they did everything, paid their dues, and now they're a productive citizen of society. Do you feel like they should be able to get their rights back without jumping through so many hoops?
I'm going to say yes, and the next word is but.
Okay.
Okay.
Depending on the crime itself?
Yeah, depending on the crime. I mean, if somebody goes down for murder and then gets out, I can tell you horror stories about people getting out. Yeah, you probably should lose it for life. Child molester.
Yes, you're talking about just like the one that was just commuted. His sentence was commuted, he was let out, and then he came out here and did the same thing to a 12-year-old, but he murdered her at the same time.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's a case-on-case basis. If there's murder, high crimes, or anything like that, they should not get their rights back.
The worst of the worst.
But the worst of the worst. But the ones that, like, the low fellas, that they're going to be on paper for maybe a decade, 2 decades. If they complete their sentences, pay their dues, haven't did anything else to have something on their papers, should they be able to take a class and get their rights back?
I think that there probably should be a little bit more in terms of training, evaluation, and background on them than everybody else, because the sad fact is once you get into crime, a lot of people stay there. But you're right. We just went through a whole week of remembering the importance of redemption.
Yes.
I mean, that's why the man hung on the cross for us. So yes, I do believe in redemption. I have seen personally people with records turn their lives around. Yeah, those kind of people. But the serious crimes against persons, I'm not so sure they should get it back. Because I'm no psychiatrist. I was a street psychologist because I was a cop. I did it on the street. I'm not so sure those people are able to be flipped. And maybe they are. Danny Trujillo, and actually has some real
Yes,
essays.
I took a picture with him actually.
Yeah, great actor.
Yes.
Great actor. He's got a rap sheet. Man turned himself around. But the fact is, people talk about him because he's one of the few that happens.
But his story is beautiful. The redemption story of him being out there, pretty much being part of a gang, having that street mentality, went to jail, went to prison, got out, and changed his life.
Right. I want to think that everybody is capable of that. My experience is the reality is not that. But if somebody does that, maybe on a case-by-case basis, he could talk me into it. The guys I arrested probably couldn't talk me into it.
But they just arrested
Is there
him.
any way to increase the sound
Yesterday
at all?
in Atlanta, there
The
was a
microphone or
situation
anything?
that
Stan
happened.
was asking.
And these YNs is going to have this on their background. 4 youth jumped their principal yesterday in the hallway and beat him down. Is there any redemption for them? Should they be able, in a couple of years, have their rights?
See, that's a tough one. Because we saw Danny turn around.
Yes.
And there's a clear record over the years of him getting on the right side of things. Yes, as a strong Christian man, I want to see those boys turn. I don't want anybody to go to hell. I don't want anybody to lead a bad life. But unless and until they find the Lord, or they find somebody strong in their life on this earth that can turn them around, and they can show society that if they have turned around, I can't support them getting gun rights.
I like that. How do you feel in schools? We know that they really can't have guns. The security, it's always got to be locked up. How do you feel about tasering children?
You're going to ask me an easy question at some point?
How do you feel about tasering these kids? Because you can't beat them anymore, but a nice, a nice zap would probably get them on the straight and narrow.
A couple of things. I don't want teachers spanking, no corporal punishment. Yeah, I grew up, I might have toted one or two myself, okay. And don't even talk to me. If you put a nun with a ruler, I'll run screaming, because I suffered a lot of that. I say that. I loved every one of them. But if you're going to act like a man, you suffer the consequences like a man. I mean, if you're a 16-year-old, you kill somebody, sorry, you should go to the big house, okay? Kids like that, if they are doing something that bad, yeah, tase them. Because you've got to stop them. There was a beautiful sign on the range at the police department. And the message stuck with me on there. And it said, if somebody is doing something that is so bad that it doesn't matter if you killed them to stop it, that's when it's okay to shoot and kill. Okay? We don't know if those boys are going to stop, because we've all seen beatdowns on television.
Yes, and they just keep going until they stomp them in the head, and that's it.
Right. Okay. So we don't know what those boys are going to do. We're not mind readers. We can only judge their actions. And see, that's important. Like, I don't like hate crimes, because I would argue every crime is hate.
So if it's a hate crime, that is when they get their... If it's a hate crime, that's when they should get their license taken away. They shouldn't have the ability to ever have a gun. So look at the situation that happened yesterday. Hispanic principal, 4 young thugs in a hallway in a school decided to attack this principal,
Right.
and jump him at the same time. Not only should they be kicked out, all their rights need to be snatched away.
They definitely need to suffer all the consequences we put on those crimes. Absolutely believe that. I just said I don't like hate crimes. Okay. I don't want the government trying to read your mind. Okay. And you know I never would, right? If I were just to reach out and smack you, okay, I'm white, you're black. Did I do it because I hate you? Did I do it because you and I were having an argument? Did I do it just to be mean? It doesn't matter. I reached out to smack you. I should get the same penalty no matter what was going on here. I don't want the government trying to read what's going on in somebody's head. So, are there
then you need to follow up with them.
are
Maybe
there
they've
hate
designated an
crimes?
area for you, but that's
Absolutely.
not something
Okay.
the facility does.
Somebody
That
doesn't
would be
firebomb
something
the
the
synagogue.
NRA
I think you can say
if
that's
they
illegal.
arrange that, but
Right.
usually that's a service they kick back over to us.
But they should not go down for the hate
But follow
that's
up with
in
your
their
NRA
heart,
rep
that's in
that's
their
in your
head.
booth and
They should
see
go down
they might have more
for
details.
firebombing the synagogue.
Right.
Those boys that beat the principal, maybe they hated the man. Maybe he did something to them. I don't know. All we know is they jumped him and beat him severely.
Look at them! I said, hey! Ain't that so sweet?
So we've got friends and celebrities showing up here.
So when you go back and you have to get out there and start teaching again, and because I know you're a consultant, you have different hats on. Do you feel like you can make a difference in the youth?
The youth. Probably not. Individuals, yes. Because you've heard the saying, you eat an elephant one bite at a time.
Yes.
This is the first time you guys have ever been to the NRA show?
Yeah.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Can't save the youth. Can't save the youth. You can take this young man, you can take this young girl, you can take, these kids over here. There was a very successful program here in Atlanta back in the 80s and 90s. I haven't heard about it since then. Of course, it's been 19 years since I've been here. So, it was called 100 Black Men.
100 black men of Atlanta and America. They're still here.
Okay, good. Wonderful program.
Yes.
Very successful men. The business executives and other forms of leaders, and they were doing one-on-one mentoring, kind of like Big Brother program.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no.
Which may still
They
be
don't
going
have the
on.
facility here.
And I'll be honest, it's
We're
still
involved with all that stuff.
That's how you say
These shows are more so you can see the product
one young person.
in ways that you
You
can't
and I are the
necessarily
people
do.
we are because there were people who had attention focused on us.
Yes.
Okay? Parents, family, all that. That's what you need. If the adults are going to fix the youth, that's how we're going to fix the kids. And
Yes.
the government, go with me on this one for a moment, because I hate saying the government. The government can help by creating schools like you and I were at. We respected our teachers. To a certain degree, we kind of were afraid of them because if we did something, they'd tell our parents. And I just assumed they'd not tell my parents.
But you got to remember the way we was growing up. Not only did you get into trouble with the neighborhood parents, they called your parents,
Oh,
but
yeah,
you
they
got
did.
another situation. But you grow into a Catholic school. You had to stay on the straight and narrow. Y'all had rulers. We had paddles.
Yeah. Well, I went to public school through the 6th grade. Okay. In fact, integration happened when I was in the 4th grade. So that's the time period. Yeah, I'm old. Okay.
You old. Just a couple of years older than me.
We're not going to sit here and argue over who's older. But the schools then were a learning and nurturing environment. They weren't trying to help us find ourselves. They weren't trying to help us establish our identities. Some of my best teachers, some of my favorite teachers, pushed us hard academically. There we go. And, they were wonderful teachers.
Did you start whispering? You got close to me and started whispering.
I'm going to whisper in your ear if you get closer.
Now people are like, why she yell? Because they got to hear you.
Right. Now, the government can fix schools, and get them back to being a valued part of the community, okay? In the role of helping parents, not trying to replace them. I'm sorry, teachers do not replace your child. And the Supreme Court and American tradition and American laws back that up. Those are the kind of things we can do. We can also take some of the rules off churches that are there, and I get it. Churches have been sources of abuse too. They're imperfect organizations set up by perfect being God. But the government can take some of the regulations off them and bring that structure, that fiber back into the community so that a child grows up going, you know, I've got my parents, and we can do a lot to fix that too. Don't even start me on the 60s, okay? And we can rebuild the fabric of America, and it starts one vote at a time. It starts one person standing up and saying stop at a time. And it takes all of you, you know, Lucretia's family, and working together, we can make this happen.
Thank you. Now, stand. Have a seat. Thank y'all.
All right.
We're gonna make this work.
Cindy Nixon.
I seen Miss Cindy. Oh, you want me to do Cindy first?
Yeah.
Miss Cindy? Come on,
Hopefully you
Cindy.
can use some of that.
I'm gonna use it all. It's live. We're gonna use everything. Come on over here, Miss Cindy.
Are you still live?
Yes. Come on now.
Hey.
Oh, my first interview. I love Lucretia.
How you doing?
Good. We're doing well.
Everybody, now, this is Miss Cindy Nixon. Tell everybody what you're running for.
I am running for Secretary of the Georgia GOP.
Okay, because we know there's a couple of politicians in here today, so I'm going to need you to walk around and shake some hands.
We sure will.
Now, when it comes to the 2A for you, what does that actually mean?
Oh my goodness, it's so important. The 2A is so important. We have to keep our freedoms. Our founding fathers knew so long ago that we had this right, and we need to preserve it and protect it because the founding fathers were just brilliant, and they were able to predict so far in advance of what we need to protect ourselves. So it is so important to keep it up, and it's our right. It's in our Constitution.
So with Georgia, we are a constitutional carry state. We have better laws than most states around here. With what's going on around the nation, and we having a lot of newbies coming into Georgia, transplants coming into Georgia that wants to change our laws. How would you have to stand up against that?
I think it's going to be who we get elected. I think that's who we have to do. We have to vet these politicians and make sure that they're true conservative Republicans and believe in our Second Amendment and believe in our Constitution, and will support it and not at the last minute change their way and become a rhino. So we've got to prevent the rhinos from being elected.
Thank you so much. Can I help you, ma'am? I want you to have a seat over here in a minute. We're doing a live, we're doing interviews, and I just want to know, what brought you here? Oh yes, vote for me, please. Are
Yes.
you voting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Vote for Lucretia.
Vote for me for the look. You really can't see it, but here you go.
All right. That'll work. Very good.
I'm slow though. We are too. Don't feel bad. Oh, we got two Cindy's in the house.
I'm an I.
You called me a minute ago.
That's what I
Because I
said.
was walking by.
I was calling you to sit down in a minute to have an interview. And you, what are you doing? How you doing? Yourself? Would you like to do an interview?
Come on, she
What
called
about
me
you?
in.
Would you like to?
Oh my.
Come on, Miss Pamela.
She called me in, and I just wanted to introduce my sister Nancy. Who's my
Nuh-uh.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got sisters?
It's a lot to take in the first time.
She's my campaign manager.
When you have your older sister on your side, did you beat her up?
No, she beat me up.
You beat her up?
She did.
Ooh.
But now we're best friends.
Oh, don't go nowhere because I still want to interview you. But
Okay,
you,
all right.
Pamela, come on over here and have a seat.
All right. It's easy.
It is easy. No gotcha questions, no nothing. We make all of those. They just $20 a piece.
Really?
Yes, ma'am. How are you doing?
I'm great.
My name is Lucretia Hughes, and I am doing the Voices for the 2A of America. So, no gotcha questions. I just want to ask you, why do you support the Second Amendment, and what brought you here?
Well, my boyfriend brought me here.
Thank you, boyfriend. Thank you, Mark.
I've always believed that you have the right to choose.
Yes, ma'am. And to be responsible. With the women being the highest right now in the United States, the fastest growing gun owners are women. But when you listen to people on talking heads on the media, they're feeling that we don't need our gun rights or our guns to protect ourselves. And with y'all live in Kentucky, which is a great state, not that it's pro-gun in Kentucky, but the states that are around you are anti-gun. How do you feel like you can continue to stand up for our rights and to make sure that the next generation will preserve our rights?
Vote for the people that are behind.
So you telling me you're getting ready to run for office?
No. I don't think so.
Wow.
But I certainly will vote for people that are for absolutely.
I'm running for the board.
Okay.
This is the only way I can do this. So how long are you going to stay here the whole weekend?
Yes.
Are you going to be able to actually get out here? I would say, are you actually going to, when you go back to Kentucky, do you think you can bring more people into the fold? Is she a powerhouse?
Oh, absolutely.
Have you ever thought of starting and being that front speaker in up there in Kentucky? There is a group, Women for Gun Rights, and you're going to see a lot of them walking around here in teal.
I have a funny feeling I have a very good
Lucretia
friend.
was very
Part of the Women for Gun Rights.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Would
Because
you-
her husband
Peters was running for the
works
Republican
in
governor.
business.
Would you mind being an advocate
She's
for
been up there to
women
speak at this event
for
several
gun
times.
rights?
He loves it.
That's,
Yeah, we got
What?
a senatorial.
I want you to, if you see any women in teal,
coming up next year.
tell them I sent you. I can see you walk in the halls of Congress. I know. I can see you walk because they do it every year, where they go up there to Washington D.C. to advocate. So basically, you're just walking into different senators, congressmen's offices, and you're just advocating. But there's a group that we call Moms for America. They are red shirts.
Yes.
They don't like us. You said no. That is something that you have. We have
Yeah, I don't
to
know what
live
Eric's
with.
doing.
There are people.
He's a
They didn't like it
he's
because I
very busy
testified
with
in
his
front
own
of Congress.
podcast. He's got a
My son was
got a
shot
pretty
in
serious
Blake and
podcast.
was murdered in 2016. So when the Uvalde's parents was up there in Congress 2 years ago, I was on the gun side, and they didn't like it. So one of the things that we're looking for is to make sure that we recruit strong women that stands up for their rights. And one thing they said, this is
To me, it
what
doesn't make any sense for Kentucky
we need to
to have a
wait for the
Democrat
cops.
governor.
Dial 911. Wait a minute. Didn't Joe Biden say pee on yourself? Or get a shotgun and shoot it in the air? No, ma'am. What's going to happen is never allow a man to get 21 feet from you because they have
thing I
more
like to say
force.
is, even a bad Republican.
Is there anything that you would like to
Yeah,
tell
you hold your nose.
everyone?
It's like a lot of people that don't. They're Republicans that still
You
don't
can-
like Trump.
You could.
Whatever.
No.
But
I'm a-
that's how
Get
you
used
feel.
to it.
Vote
Get,
Republican.
to the NRA?
The alternative is
Guns, and more guns.
they're not trying to build anything.
They like lazy potato chips. You can't have just one. We always have the Bible, your 2A, and your fist, and you're gonna be okay.
He always had a hunting gun, now he has a
Right.
but I'm not sure he's behind the which is weird.
Yeah, I always tell people you don't have to be behind the NRA, be behind the Second Amendment. You can always find different organizations out there.
Trump is trolling.
Go find one that's gonna stand up for your rights.
He's trolling.
And if I don't like
Trying to
NRA,
control.
doesn't matter.
He's trying to keep that
Find an
focus on
organization
shiny object.
that is going to support you and your 2A and is going to have your back.
Because otherwise, all they're going to try to do is destroy things.
About safety. It's like, it makes
Listen,
sense.
when I look at the NRA, and I keep telling them this because they are so dogged in the media, they're so hated in the media.
Yes.
Go back to your grassroots. The NRA was founded
I got to take a phone
for
call.
free slaves and sharecroppers after the Civil War to make sure carpetbaggers and people don't come down here and take what they had. Go back to that. You won the fight. Because the NRA is the oldest civil rights organization in the United States of America. and they never promote it. Thank you so much. Please come back over here tomorrow.
Very nice talking
Thank you so pants on. You just freezing.
I am not. I'm actually very warm.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. Come on back over. Find the women in teal. The Women for Gun Rights. They have a Kentucky branch, and I think she'll be a great spokeswoman in Kentucky. So,
Thank you so much.
yes, sir. Thank you, Mark, for bringing her. Absolutely. Hey, ladies, what y'all doing? Oh, no. You can't smile at me and keep walking. How are y'all doing this morning?
How are you?
Come on over here and have a seat with me.
See the big cafe banner.
Come on.
It's behind us. It's behind us.
No gotcha questions.
I can.
2.
I'll send you somebody over here.
You're going to send me some money.
I'll send you somebody over here.
Oh, I thought you said you were going to
Somebody
send me
that's better-
some money. I was like,
somebody that's better than
okay.
me and people want to see.
Okay. Well, you send him over here, and I would love to do an interview with him.
Okay. All right.
Hey,
All right. See you when you get here.
do I stand up or sit down? Stand up. Come on. How are you? All right. Have a seat. Everybody, if you don't know who she is, go ahead and tell everybody.
Hey, my name is Tori Branum. I'm a Marine veteran. I was a firearms trainer on active duty, and now I train women all over the country the basics of handguns. I'm very protective of our Second Amendment. I am running for 12th District Congress in Georgia. I'm challenging a Republican incumbent, Rick Allen, and I'm here to be in my wheelhouse amongst the people that share my values.
Absolutely.
I'm really excited.
Well, you've been a firearm trainer and you've been at the NRA. How do you feel that we can bring more females into the fold to be able to stand up for their Second Amendment, but also to protect themselves?
Encouraging people. A lot of women we're not killers by nature. We're inherently very timid when it comes to guns. So just encouraging people to go and understanding that there's fears. And that's what I've learned through my job is people are scared. They're a lot of people don't hate guns, they just are scared of them because they don't know what they can do. So with a lot of women, once they fire a gun for the first time, they fall in love with it. So just not pushing anybody to, maybe we could do like classes to just expose somebody to handguns. I'm all about the basics of loading and unloading and clearing a jam and the psychology behind firing the weapon. And I think that's a big thing with women, is just easing them into it.
Now, in the state of Georgia, the fastest growing gun owners are women.
Yes.
But here's what I've been hearing. They don't know where to go. They don't know where to go or what to do. How do we get out there on the forefront to show them either it's training classes, their local sheriff office, any type of how do we get relayed to the women out there the importance of their 2A?
Well, I have a lot to say about that. First of all, don't ever go in a gun store to buy a gun and have somebody else tell you what you need to purchase. Because it may not fit in your hand. You may not be able to pull the slide back. Just because it's little and purple doesn't mean it's good or that it's not going to jam. So the main thing is take some training, rent some different guns, see what you like, then go make a purchase. And I would say seek out a woman trainer, and I'm in Georgia. There are a lot of good women trainers. In fact, gun sales for women went up 50% in 2020. So seek out a woman trainer, someone that you would feel comfortable with, and rent some guns, learn on those, and then make your purchase. Because what you don't want to do is buy a gun that you think looks pretty, and then you can't clear the jam out because you can't pull the slide back. So those are very important. Don't purchase before you train.
Everybody, if you're living in the state of Georgia and you in the 11th district, 12th district, y'all make sure no more incumbents. We need a change. Instead of complaining, you actually have somebody that is that change, and it's not the same old, same old. So if you're in the 12th district, make sure you volunteer, donate, and vote for Tori.
Thank you.
Where are you going to be at?
I'm at the Tactical Grip booth.
What booth is
I
that?
think it's 2462.
You got a long way to walk.
Yes. I'm walking back that way. It's not too bad.
It's not.
It's a swift 5-minute walk.
We're at 17,000 acres of guns, and more guns. So if you don't have anything to do this weekend and you have $10 in your pocket, come out here to the World Congress Center and come and meet me so I can interview you. It's going to be a long weekend.
It is. It's going to be fun. I'm really excited.
Are you going to the women's luncheon?
I don't know about that.
What do you want?
I did go to Freedoms and Cocktail last night with Old Glory Bank.
How was it?
That's an amazing bank.
How was it? There was a lot of people
awesome.
there?
Yeah, it was. Oh, there was about 40 that were invited, and it was amazing. They're very two-way friendly. In fact, what I loved about it, this is very important, is they have closed-loop purchases where it goes straight from the purchaser to the vendor, where people can't track like their ammo purchases and
Oh,
all
so
that
you mean
kind
like
of stuff.
being the federal government when they was trying to track everybody's guns, ammo, and they was having all the banks
Right.
report to
Right.
the ATF against people with.
Right, and actually the state of New York, Governor Hochul just passed where they would track all ammo purchases, and so we don't want
We don't want that. No.
It's a breach of privacy, but 2A is Second Amendment friendly, First Amendment friendly.
Are you ready? I just found your new policy. You got a new platform. You're going to make sure that you Washington, D.C., and you pass a law or sponsor a bill. One of them will be that no financial institution can track purchases and report it.
They have had people lobbying for that to get that passed. Honestly, the state, a lot of the towns in the states, they're not really allowed to. Like in Georgia, like Savannah tried to put the mayor passed a law, a city ordinance, where if you leave a firearm in your car and somebody steals it, then you get a $1,000 fine. Well, local ordinance are not allowed to pass laws like that. Firearms and ammo are regulated by the state.
Okay.
But if we go back to the Second Amendment Constitution, then it wouldn't be any of the government in charge of that. And that's the way it should be.
And that's why you need to get to Washington. So tell me what we need to do, and me and Dave got you.
Well, I'm going to use the Old Glory Bank Alliance for donations. They're going to set that up online, and I have to raise money because that will be for media. I have a pretty good social media presence.
When do you want to hold a big event down in your district?
ASAP. I will qualify in February, so I have to get to work right now.
When do you want to go ahead and hold an event down in your community? Park, just get a location,
Yes.
time, and date, and
Okay.
we can build around that.
Great. I would like to do one in Augusta and Statesboro. These are both really important for my
I
campaign.
can see why they're important. That's strategic too. So Gooch never here. That's all I think. Gooch, state reps. All right, everybody. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. Where am I going? David's just going to point it down the road. Oh, we got a new one. Hey.
This gentleman's gonna come on now.
Hey there.
Hi, I heard lots about you.
You did?
I have.
Wait a minute. You convention of states.
I am. You know about convention states?
Convention of states.
I had been messaging with them about being the Georgia rep, and I just haven't had time. It's number 5.
Well, thank you.
I'm read as well, so.
Our booth is way at the end down there. If you have time to stop by.
Okay, I would love
That's the
to.
Georgia State Director. They're all there.
Great, I will come by. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. How
How
are
you
you?
doing?
Bud Cornwell. Pleasure to meet you.
Y'all be coming to our rallies and stuff. So we hold rallies. Y'all actually show up.
Well,
I
that's
love it.
good. That's awesome.
All right, everybody, look what we have. We have Convention of States. Tell everybody who you are and why you are at the NRA.
Well, to be honest with you, the reason I'm at the NRA is because I'm a lifetime member, been a lifetime member for a long time.
Okay.
And I've never been
Have
to
you
a
voted
meeting.
for yet? Have you voted for the board?
Oh, yeah, many times.
You're gonna vote today for me.
Okay.
So,
No, absolutely, not a problem.
okay, when it comes to the 2A, and especially conventions of state, and Georgia being the
Right.
very first state to sign on to the Convention of States, how do you feel when it comes to the Second Amendment and having an issue, because only one issue can be voted on or talked about at any Convention of States?
Right.
We know that Gavin Newsom came out last year and said he would like to have a Convention of State to ratify and get rid of the Second Amendment. As the people, the founders, the presidents of Convention of States, how can we go against that so it's not going to be taken?
Is that weird?
You mean we've been overspending since
Yeah, absolutely. There is no such thing as a balance budget, right? And then the last but not least, is we have got to reduce the size of the federal government. We have no choice.
Right.
It is just killing us. What's going on? Right? So what that means is nowhere on there we're talking about taking away the Second Amendment.
Right.
When we go into that convention, if whatever proposed amendment comes out does not fit in those buckets, it's automatically thrown out. There's no way the Second Amendment can be brought in there. Now, think about this.
Yes.
Let's say somebody does want to do what we're doing specifically for the Second Amendment. Well, how many people do you think is going to vote for that?
No, it depends on what state you're in.
Yeah, but you got to have 34 just to get it to a convention.
How many states we have
Thir-
now?
we have,
28?
right now we have 19.
19.
Yeah.
We need to pick up the pieces.
Well, we're working. We're doing the best that we can, but to be honest with you, our issue is not as much with like the liberal Democrat type mentality, right? The gun thing and all that. Believe it or not, the other side, with organizations like JCS, those people are really fighting against it.
Shut up.
Absolutely.
Why is Gun First Society the ones that's actually
They think that this is not the solution.
What do they
Their
feel like the
solution
solution
is to just nullify anything the government sends. Well, how's that working?
How are you going to know?
Because if you nullify it, guess what the government does? It takes your money away.
Thank you. So why wouldn't you? Do you feel like the John Birch Society and the Convention of State and the Madison, do you ever feel like these organizations are going to get on board with each other so we can all fight together?
That would be awesome. Could you imagine what we could do if we had these organizations, like Eagle Forum, NRA, all of those? We have the same values. I think what the issue is trying to get to that point.
The issue is egos.
You're right.
Who power grabs? Who got the most power and who's going to get the most recognition? When it's not about that, it's about the citizens and our grandchildren in the future to make sure they have a future. So, what is your position in the Convention of States?
Well, I'm a staff member.
What? You need to be the president.
No, Mark Meckler's the president. He's awesome. But I was a state director for Arkansas when I volunteered when I first started. And we passed it in 2019. And I've been in IT for a long time. So National called me up and I became their technical services. Go back and that's what I do for the Convention of States. Other than obviously going around and events and stuff and helping out.
So here's another thing that I'm concerned with the Convention of States. They get behind the closed doors, right? We have already said who's going to be there representing every state. How do we know they're not going to get in there, flip it, and try to bring something else to the floor?
See, that's what we're talking about. You're going to have 34 states to get there. Once you get there, all 50 states are invited. So it's not, even if they didn't pass it, once you get to that threshold.
You're trying to have a Continental Congress again?
Well, it's similar to that. Don't look at it that. It's not a real convention like that one was. It's a convention of the states, of the people. Now, the way the...
Wait a minute. You talking about Gavin Newsom coming in with Greg Abbott,
bring them on,
with Ron DeSantis and Brian Kemp, all behind closed doors.
First off, it's not going to be behind closed doors.
No? I thought it was going to be behind closed doors.
Absolutely not. This could, believe me, trust me, it will be open. Everybody will see this one. This is a convention of states. This is not the legislation, right? Now, there are going to be committees that are behind closed doors.
Yes.
Right? That's different.
Okay.
Because they got a job to do. They got to come up with these amendments and fill these things. But I want you to think about it. If we have 34 states that have voted to do this and have agreed to do these three things, right? Then that's all that's going to happen. By the rules, if somebody comes in there and brings something up at a committee or brings it up at the main floor vote, right, says, I want to propose an amendment to remove the Second Amendment.
Yes. Well, Gavin Newsom already said that's why he's joining.
But
He
the
said he's joining.
the president of that convention is immediately going to tell us, you're out of order, that does not fit in the conversation. Sit the hell down.
I love it. So, you said it's going to take 39 states.
It's 34.
34 states out of 50.
Out of 50.
All of the states are welcome to come but they're not going to be allowed
One
to.
state, one vote.
I don't know how many.
One state,
I think there is
one vote. What are the perimeters once they get in there and they vote? What are some of the? They're not going to be able to touch the Bill of Rights.
That's correct. Absolutely.
But anything after the 13th Amendment is fair game.
Think about what I'm telling you.
Yes.
The purpose of it is to propose amendments,
Right.
not to change amendments.
See, that's what a
Propose
misnomer is.
amendments.
And I think that's exactly why the Convention of State hadn't picked up more steam.
That's
Is
correct.
because the wording and how I'm gonna say it, the liberal mainstream media is presenting that they are mixing up your words. So that is why so many Americans are afraid, or states, to join in, because they feel like you're going to get in there and actually change the actual Constitution, and that is not what the Convention of States is about.
That's correct.
Boom.
That's the thing about. I want you to think about what I'm fixing to tell you. We're pressing 6 million signatures on that.
We do everything else with our phones, right? I mean,
There is nothing ever
Bill, don't go
presented
nowhere.
like this that has had this number of people support. It's an absolute necessity. Because let me ask you this
Yes.
very simple question:
Yes.
do you think Washington can fix this?
No.
So if that's the correct answer,
Satan can never save himself.
absolutely. If that's the correct answer, how or what can we do?
But you got to remember, Washington isn't working for us. They're working for corporations and the New World Order.
They're working for
Themselves and globalism. So Washington is no longer for the people, by the people. It's for the global society to break the backs of the people.
Think about this. Why did the founding fathers put in so much power to the states with a very limited federal government power? What the people don't understand, the federal government really has one major function:
And that is protect our borders.
protect our country
That's
and our
it.
citizens. That's it. Everything else was intended for the states to have power.
Exactly.
But the government, the federal government, has grown so big. Put it to you this way. Think about a mob rule, right? So you're in the mob.
Oh, you're talking about democracy. Because if I hear that one more time, I'm gonna scream.
But think about the mob mentality, right? What happens if you don't pay your payments?
You get kicked out.
Right. That's how the federal government holds the states responsible.
Or they give them to illegals.
See what I'm saying?
Yes.
They got the states under a bind because of the bureaucracy. It's just incredible.
Do you feel like if the states stop taking money from the feds, then the feds are no longer involved in the states?
Absolutely. Now here's the other question. Let's say the state of Georgia decides on 1 January 2026 we are no longer going to give the federal government any money or take any money from it.
Oh.
Could the state survive?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely it could.
Well, have you seen our lawmakers? That might be a whole nother question.
I know.
Oh, did I say that out loud? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
But I spent 20 years in the Marine.
y'all don't die. Y'all just multiply.
And can you imagine how heartbreaking, how much it hurts me to see our country in a situation?
That's only because you take your oath serious.
Yes, ma'am.
You was willing to martyr yourself for me and my kids and my grandchildren. You was willing to get out there and put your life on the front line of this nation to be betrayed by the powers that be inside of the nation. I feel like this when it comes to our veterans. You signed a contract to take care of them for the rest of their lives. You need to abide by that contract.
Absolutely.
And you need to stop putting our soldiers and our men on psychotropic drugs because you put them in that predicament to have this PTSD to begin with. So actually do right by our soldiers. Take care of our veterans. And I hope y'all get everything that is justly due to y'all.
I appreciate that. Other people I tell a lot is this. Do you think I'm the one that decided I wanted to go to war?
No, they decided for you.
They send you. They're the ones that send
You did not get drafted.
No,
Oh, okay.
I didn't get drafted. But they sent us. But here's the other part of this, right?
Right. You know, it's like
When a military person, no matter what branch they're in, when we raise our right hand, we support and defend what?
The Constitution of the United States.
Do I support and defend the president?
No,
Do I support and defend Billy Bob?
no. It is the Constitution
By
of the United States.
supporting the Constitution, what are we doing? Supporting our nation.
I just found out about 2 years ago what unfortunate son really meant. And y'all was unfortunate sons.
Absolutely.
They would never send their own kids, but they're willing to kill ours.
I was a Marine drill instructor for 3 years, and I've never seen any political son come
You
in
didn't see
boot
Hunter
camp.
Biden? You didn't follow the baggings? Just follow the baggings.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I wish I'd have seen him. I'd have straightened that boy up in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. I'm telling you, you should see the people that come in there. You're going, holy cow.
Wow.
When you get out of here, you're going to be a Marine. You're going to be hard.
Well,
You know?
a lot of Marine stuff, a lot of military training has changed.
I know.
Instead of the hoorah, they
Well, they give them little pink bunnies to see.
I was about to say that. In the last, y'all need to get it back to the forefront.
Absolutely. Heat headset's he's got it. He's on it. He
Thank
is on it.
God.
He got generals flying out of the Pentagon like it's cool.
And
And don't come back.
And if anybody else want to come over here from the convention and say, tell them come over here, I'll interview.
Okay.
Thank you so
Absolutely.
much. Well, who else? What happened to Bill? Look at her. She's gorgeous. Am I
Yes,
supposed
ma'am.
to say she's gorgeous? And she's gorgeous. Come on over here. Oh, Glory Bank.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you know my mom.
Of course I'm gonna vote for you.
Oh, you see this?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Are you going to come in and sit down for a minute?
give you a kiss first.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Oh, she's the best.
I'm coming over.
Yes. I heard what y'all did last night. Y'all helping Tori and everything else.
Yes.
How you doing? Good. Okay. Everybody, if you are with Regions or Bank of America, I'm gonna need for you to change your banking platform that you use, and that is a new huge bank that is 2A, that is America First, and that puts our rights, God, family, and country back on the forefront, and that is Old Glory Bank. And we have a representative here, so go ahead and
She's also with Veterans for
I was
America
about to say,
First.
I'm also with Veterans for America
I'm looking at the, it's Old Glory Bank today. She can't represent the
We snuck
organization.
it
Yes, I
in this
can.
time.
You don't represent Veterans for America First.
I know. Yes, Old Glory Bank.
Okay.
So, 3 years ago, we were founded by Larry Elder, Dr. Ben Carson,
Whoa. The Larry Elder and Dr. Ben Carson.
and John Rich.
You mean Rich and Thin?
Big and Rich.
Okay.
Big, short.
This is truly a conservative platform.
Absolutely it is, because we noticed, on the conservative side, that Americans that were in the 2A space or the pro-life space, right? Or evangelical space, it doesn't matter. They were getting debanked by the larger corporate space. So the three men got together and they were like, this isn't right. We need a bank that is free from government overreach, free from federal spying. So they got all of their money together and started Old Glory Bank. They bought one brick and mortar store in Elmore City, Oklahoma, which if anyone is familiar with Footloose, it is the little bank that is in the middle of the square in Elmore City where Footloose is filmed. So we're very happy about that. So we are in all 50 states. We are
In 3 years?
well, we're a little bit different. So we are predominantly an online financial institution. But we are the bank for Main Street, not Wall Street. So all of our customer service are in-house. They live in the United States. If you like one over the other, you can say, hey, I need to speak to Kitty, or I need to speak to Christy. But our customer service reps or our ambassadors are quite unique because most of them.
Holy crap! Y'all know who she is. She is cuter in person. This Tiffany Savage. That's Tiffany. Why you just say it was just dango? You did different with makeup on. I'm gonna need for you to put on some Trump gear.
I got my shoes on. What are you talking about?
I said, it didn't hit me. It didn't hit. I said, holy crap, she like Tiffany.
And I'm blonde now. I was dark. I was brunette.
Why did you do that to me? Don't do that to me like that no more. She looks so great, a blonde. Blonde have more fun.
That's right. So anyway, yeah. So
You just made me have a hot flash. Holy crap, why you do that to me? Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Why did you change your hair?
oh my gosh, like a month ago.
Okay then, I'm just
The blonde savvy's back. She's
Okay,
a little
good.
bit more savage.
Go ahead, now that I know who I heck I'm talking to.
Yeah, so they formed a bit. We're in all 50 states. Our customer, everything is done in-house. We are full
Okay,
financial.
forget Old Glory Bank for a minute. Hey, why are you here at the NRA, Miss Tiffany Savage?
Because Old Glory Bank is 2A friendly. We will not share our customers' information
Yes.
with the federal government. And we lean in heavy to our active military, first responders, our veterans. For instance, Old Glory has.
Crap, you look different.
No. Oh, is it bad or good?
It's a good thing. Okay, he's already gorgeous, and when he walked around, I said, who is that beautiful lady? No homo. I was like, who is she? It's you. Girl, you're a chameleon. Hey, that was exactly what we were
Yeah, so we have a product called Old Glory Protect. So it is for active duty law enforcement, first responders, EMS, and federal employees, and it is a $100,000 death benefit for the families. So should something happen to that active duty military first responder, EMS, USCPD, then personally our CEO, Mike Green, and John Rich hop on a plane and deliver $100,000 to your family without jumping through all the hoops. The only other one that does it is USAA, and you have to, it's like you have to go through boot camp to get your benefit. That is not us. We also offer an alternative to PayPal, because PayPal was another big one that wasn't supporting conservatives.
Right.
And it's Old Glory Alliance, and it's a crowdfunding platform for campaigns, for any sort of, any sort of campaign, whether it's for veterans. We work with Folks of Honor, Code of Ed.
How are y'all going to get this out there? There's so many different police stations. County, city, how are we, and I don't know how I do my name myself, but the help of y'all. How are we going to reach out to all of these different police stations, and especially in the small towns, to offer them?
Yep. So that is my job. And I think back to Trump Force 47 during the campaign. I had 270 captains that were helping me. It is just me. So if this is something that resonates with you or your viewers, please feel free to reach out to me. But also, don't be afraid, to get a name and number for me, and I will go visit them. To
Walton County, but then you have Walton County, you got Walnut Grove, you have all of these little bitty
we
places.
want to get into the academies, right? So the police academy, fire academy, all of that. We want to be able to
Two Shriners,
get in there
CEOs want to
and
get in
have
together.
this product, offer it to the new cadets and firefighters. But I'm having a difficult time getting in. But just because I know that it's a little nuts. But we're going to get
What do you need from me?
just a name and a telephone number of someone that within the.
Do y'all sponsor shows? Do y'all sponsor shows?
I already have your.
I'm feeling like, where's my card? We would love to have y'all to sponsor us. Why? Because we're starting Prepping 101. We're more talking about getting away from mainstream organizations, learning how to do your own stuff, getting your financial house in order. And with Old Glory Bank, y'all are offering something that Bank of America doesn't offer. and that is
We
Larry
are-
Elders and Dr. Ben Carson.
Well, we are the financial institution of a freedom economy. So if you think of it like that, because we support constitutional Americans.
Yes.
That's another thing that's very important. You know, of course, we lean very heavy into the conservative side, but it's not just conservative, right? If you are a law-abiding American, we want to thank you, because what has happened to us in the past 8 years is probably going to happen to people, you know, in the middle of the aisle or on the left eventually. And
They will.
no American should have to deal with that, because if you lose your bank and your ability to bank, then you've lost your ability to pay bills, buy a car,
And the way
job.
they're trying to do digital currency and how they try to do digital currency, the conservative side is going to have a banking industry that is going to protect us from the mark of the beast.
Yes.
An Old Glory Bank, brought to you by Richard Finn, Dr. Ben Carson, and also Larry John Rich.
Elder.
I have been calling that dude Richard Finn for the last 5 months.
My goodness.
So I've never met him, so I don't think he
He's
knows me.
wonderful.
I am. So now back to you
Yes.
and your gun rights. How do you feel that we can get out there as females and as women, because the women are the largest gun-owning group and buyers in the United States at this point? How can we get out there to teach them even more about the 2A and why it is not a right that they want to give away?
Oh gosh, I think leaning into Tori. I mean, that's what she does, right? She is a firearms instructor for women. But I think a lot of people or women are actually shy.
You're freaking me out right about now.
Why?
You don't look like
We've
yourself.
known each other for like how many years?
I know
5
it. I'm
years
sitting
now?
here like, why you do that to me? I want to change. You're going to teach me how to change. Okay.
Showing some eyelashes.
I don't even wear makeup.
Eyelashes aren't makeup.
You got to teach me how to change. I want to keep too. Get out of that conversation. Oh, my bad. We live.
Are we really?
You know I do everything live.
Hey.
Hey, and people right here, Michelle them. So when it comes to you, do you feel like you can play a bigger role? Because if Tori's in office, that's going to be one less woman with tenacity to get out there to talk to women and their rights with no code, not mince your words, going to tell it like the TI is. There's going to be a void in a vacuum. Do you feel like you're going to be able to wear multiple hats without wearing yourself down?
I do that already.
You're the Veterans for America First. You're out there on the front line. You're over there on X.
Vice chair for Gwinnett County GOP. I'm up for state committee seat at the Georgia GOP convention. Vote Saturday.
You're running for who?
State committee seat.
Which one?
Nomination.
They know you?
Good night, district. Love you.
She loves y'all by
I really do love you.
And number one, y'all getting ready to change it back to the good old days, to the good old ways. So it's a whole new people in town. Y'all won't have a fight on your hands, but y'all can do. Y'all can't hear us,
Y'all
can
can
y'all?
hear Naya.
Okay, good.
Yes, but that is what I do. That's what I thrive on. When I feel like I am stagnant, that's when I go crazy. I need 150 irons in fire. And like I said, we've known each other for years. If I am not,
Don't ever flip up on Twitch on me again.
oh my gosh, I'll teach you.
Okay, yeah, I'm changing my hair color again. Just give me advance notice. Number one, I was like, oh,
And I
shit.
lost weight since campaign.
I was like, oh, she is gorgeous. That's Tiffany. Holy crap. You're
Yeah.
still gorgeous.
Same to you.
So, this one.
But I want to.
How are you going to be able to not only train women, train Gwinnett County to get their financial houses in order, where to get their financial houses in order, and do you feel maybe this is something that Old Glory Bank can do? When you open up a bank account, since a lot of people don't have life insurance whatsoever, they can opt in on life insurance. Not the $100,000 that we're doing, that y'all are doing for the veterans, but maybe $10,000, $25,000 term life insurance policy. that goes immediately when you open up a bank account to a certain amount. So you have not only fulfilled them to having a bank that will protect their money, it's going to help them build, but you also, they're going to be, Old Glory Bank will be leaving money for the next generation that can go right back into Old Glory Bank.
Right. And I love that idea. We do not offer that at the moment. We are 3 years old. We have actually just launched our IPO, and we
Y'all
are
going public?
Oh yeah, but we are at $63 for 7 shares. That's based on Deuteronomy 6:3. Look it up. But we are trying to grow the bank as much as possible in order to offer products exactly like yours, because we want to make sure that law-abiding Americans have, again, freedom and autonomy, whether it comes to banking, life insurance, their we offer mortgages already, but being able to be the more diverse and competitive within the financial market, because there is no competition.
And when it comes, remember, Old Glory Bank,
Right, or oldglorybank.com.
the oldglorybank.com is not like Wachovia, Bank of America, Regions, or anything else that we know within the last 4 years have turned over our financial records. Y'all need to get with a real, true American bank that is actually backed by Rich and Thin, Dr. Ben Carson, and Leo. If you let me meet this man, maybe I'll get John Rich's name. I'm going to see Rich and Thin. Just be like, girl, do not call him that, it's John Rich. Shut up! Come on, Jay.
What's up?
Yeah, he's gonna sit down.
Come on, you gonna sit on my lap.
After Jay, you got the Shriners. Talk about all the good things you're doing for children. But
I got something to show y'all too. All right, come on, Jay.
All right. I got a sheriff from Montana. He probably sit down and talk to
He
you.
will? You think he will?
Yeah, because the guy one of his deputies is the guy we made law enforcement officer of the year.
And they're here?
They're here. I just ran into Sheriff Slaughter a little bit ago. All I got to do is text Sheriff Slaughter.
Don't that name sound familiar?
Yeah.
It does sound familiar.
I think we interviewed him on the show.
Sheriff
Right, that's
Jesse
fine.
Slaughter.
Jay just
Stan, did we interview Jesse Slaughter?
no, but is he here? I'll go get him.
The Montana sheriff.
The Cascade County Sheriff. I made his deputy of my committee, law enforcement officer of the year for NRA.
Okay.
I ran into him down there a little ways ago, and all I got
He's
to
just
do.
walking, or does he have a booth?
No, he don't have a booth. He's a guest because his officer is the officer of the year.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, we booked a couple. We actually booked 2 Montana sheriff's people, but not that name.
Well, this is the sheriff with the law
sheriff of the
enforcement officer of the year. I can text him. He's interested in doing something.
Well, please, yeah.
And if you want, I can text him now. I don't know what he's got going on. You know how
You know we're gonna be here for a minute. Everybody, if you don't know this man, you might need to. Okay. Not only, but
we get done, I'll text that.
okay. Right now, y'all, we are talking to the legendary Jay. That's to me. I call the fellas. So if you ever, when you ever hear me say I love the fellas, here's one of my fellas. That's you. We live. What's wrong? We just live.
I've never seen myself on the camera.
You never have? Just pretend like it ain't there. And just talk to me. What brings you here today? I'm kidding. He is a board member of the NRA. He's a former sheriff. And right now, he is also out there. I'm going to let him explain himself. Tell everybody who you are.
Well, for information, and I'm not bragging, I'm the sheriff, one of the sheriffs who sued the federal government on the Brady Law back in 1994, went all the way to the Supreme Court, and we won the case. It's called Prince versus the United States. I love the sound of that. Right after that, I retired in 1998, got on the board of directors in 1998, and I've been on the board continuously since then. I've also, in my travels, I was a police advisor in Iraq in 2004 and 5, and I'm a Vietnam veteran, as you can see. And
I traveled the country doing coin and jewelry show security after I retired from the sheriff's office. So I've traveled all over. We used to do a big jewelry show up here in your neighborhood at the Cobb County Galleria twice a year. So I'm all over Atlanta quite a bit. At any rate, I'm a freedom lover, and the Second Amendment is my friend.
Now, with all of the laws and the stuff that has changed in just a decade, how is the attack on the 2A, how is it really affecting everything that you want to do? And with you being a Marine and being in Vietnam, you've seen how the law has changed to a point that our freedoms are being taken away slowly but surely. You being on the board of directors, how do you feel like you can be back on the forefront to protect our rights?
Well, I don't know if people realize that the NRA has been on the forefront for a lot of times. If you look around, there's been a big change, a sea change in the freedoms that you possess now have been protected over the years by the NRA. You know, I don't know how many states now have constitutional carry. I can't keep all the numbers in my head. Where years ago, you had to, if you could even get a permit, you had to apply to the government to get a permit to carry. Then they did the concealed carry thing. Well, we've got like 30 states that are constitutional carry. You don't need a permit.
Right.
And that's
Georgia
the NRA.
is one of them.
The NRA is instrumental in doing all of that.
Why is the NRA so hated by the left and mainstream media?
All you got to do is look at anybody on the left and you'll understand why. They are crazy. The left is, as far as I'm concerned, have mental problems. It's the same people that want to make boys into girls and play girl sports. It's just insanity. There's no common sense there. So they don't like what the NRA does because we're all about freedom. Everybody talks about guns. It's not about guns. It's about freedom. The Second Amendment was enshrined in our Constitution for a reason.
A well-regulated militia is necessary to the security of the free state, and the people to peacefully keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I might have missed one specific sentence.
Well, it don't matter. It's just that it's a constitutional right, and it's the right that protects all the other rights. I don't know why it was number 2. They should have actually said the First Amendment, but that happened to be a different amendment, constitutional freedom. But these constitutional amendments were put there for a reason, and that was to protect the liberties of the citizens. So our job at the NRA, and that's not all we do.
No, it's not.
People stop and say, well, you're just anti-gun, or you're just pro-gun. No, we do all kinds of things, firearms safety, firearms training. I'm chairman of the law enforcement committee on the NRA. We do firearms training for law enforcement. We put on a big shoot for law enforcement. There's many things that the NRA
And
does.
school shield when it comes to the protection of our children in schools.
And Eddie Eagle is a product of the NRA. Firearm safety is one of the main things that we stress. We got to be safe because it is a dangerous instrument.
A lot of people don't know that the NRA was founded for free black slaves and also sharecroppers in the South after the Civil War. Why can't we get back to that initiative and that on the forefront so we can stop being attacked by the mainstream media and by the left?
That's part of the problem. The progressives, the name they use themselves, think that that's a progressive thing to do. It's all about control. You control the people. That's what they want to do. There's many things that they do to take away our freedom so that they can control us. They want to be our bosses. I don't want anybody to be my boss. That's why I swore an oath, and all law enforcement swore the same oath. Our politicians swear that oath. Many of them don't abide by it. But their job is to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. So that's my job. I'm retired from law enforcement.
Do you ever feel like you might go back if necessary or if the calling is
Well,
there?
I'm getting kind of old for that.
Not old enough to hit the front line if we ever attack.
Well, when it comes down to whatever I got to do, I'll do what I got to do. The thing about it getting old is some things you can't do when you get old. If you know what Willie Nelson said 2 years ago. And we won't talk about that.
Hey, it'll be all right. They grown.
My mama would slap me if I said some of the things I could say. Anyway, that's what we do. The NRA is the premier organization. A lot of people don't see the things that we've done underneath. Look at the big case that we got. One of our NRA board members, Tom King, was instrumental in the Bruin case, Bouen. That's a big deal.
Then why can't we be back on the forefront fighting for our rights instead of fighting them?
Well, they're the enemy. That's why. You know, we've got politicians. That's where it's at. You've got politicians in there. People that pass the laws and create the legislation. All of the ones that got to make sure we're doing the things they're supposed to do. We got to put the right people in those places. Unfortunately, we get so many people that are more interested in what's in it for me than they are in what's good for the country. So we get all these idiots elected to positions, and under the government that we have, they're passing laws that are flatly unconstitutional. But that's what the NRA does. We take them forward. This Bruin case, that's another example. My case, for example. I'm a little sheriff in Montana. I got things to do, but when the federal government come down and said, well, okay, now you're going to have to do this, my attitude was, I don't work for you guys, I work for Montana. So
And
I
then was
sued
it the
them.
ATF that did that, or was it the Justice Department?
That was Bill Clinton's legislation that Bill Clinton passed for the Congress, called the Brady Law. And I basically, what they wanted to do was tell me I had to do things that my state government, the laws in my state said I can't do. So I work for the state of Montana. And they ain't gonna tell me what to do. You ain't my daddy. So I sued him.
And won.
But the NRA is the one that helped me. Without the NRA helping me and finding me a lawyer, Stephen Halter, up to the premier second lawyer, I don't know where that case would have went.
And that is why they hate us, because we fight back.
Yeah, and they said, basically, the law basically said if I didn't do what they told me I had to do, I could be prosecuted and sent to federal prison. So, you know, that was just kind of a scary time because it's not like I want to go to prison.
And then you got one of the biggest gun right organizations to stand up for you.
That's right. The NRA came to my defense, provided the lawyer. Without that, I don't know where I'd go, you know.
Thank you for being the board. And I don't care if you are old guard. You're my guard.
Well, you know, I don't fall into that category of old guard, new guard bullshit. You know, I've been on the board since 1998, continuously. Every time I'm up for re-election, I'm either number one or number two vote getter. The only time I was number two was when that damn Tom Selleck was running in the same time I was running.
Well, hey, it's Tom Selleck.
Well, and I asked him one time, the first time he ran for the board in 2005 and beat me by more votes. Mm-hmm. And I ran into him and I said, how in the hell did you get more votes than me, Tom?
It was the mustache.
He said that. He said it was the mustache, Sheriff. So I guess you got me there.
Well, you got a mustache.
Not like his, though. Okay. I got to admit that.
Thank y'all. Thank you so much, Jay. Pray for me.
You bet. I'm going to get a hold of that sheriff here and see if he's not too busy and he can come down here.
Okay. Tell him to come on over. I would love to talk to you.
All right. Thanks.
And then I have to run to a women's thing.
You don't have to tell me. I don't want to tell you. Oh, I thought it was a toilet.
Yeah, stop it.
But they don't have women and men toilets anymore. It's all unisex, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Marco?
When are you going to do that?
When? Go to the women's thing?
Yeah.
I'm running now.
Oh, it's going now.
Yes.
So when are you going to be back?
Tomorrow. I'm going to be around you all day today.
Well, I want him to talk to you, so if you're not going to be here today.
What about tomorrow? He going to be here tomorrow?
We'll see. I don't know what
If not, find him, and I can always do it live without being the voices of the 2A.
Well, we'll figure it out. We're going to figure it out.
Sam?
Right. Thank you.
Okay, I'll connect now.
Have a seat.
No, the Shriners are next. They're waiting.
Yeah, you're going to have a seat, though. After I do the Shriners, you take them over.
Okay.
You know.
So many things to do, huh?
Yes. Every time I look at them, I am looking at my dad. Don't we have a couple of those? How you doing out there? Hey, Facebook. I don't know if y'all are still on. Like I said, we're at the NRA 2025 convention. And this is the voices of the 2A. And basically what I'm doing is I'm just pulling people on the convention floor and actually interviewing them. Tomorrow, we will be on all of the platforms. Keep your fingers crossed. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Every time I look at you, you remind me of my dad. With the hat. With the hat.
All right, you getting us through chairs.
Yeah.
We love to come back here and talk to pretty ladies.
Hey, baby. I saw you all ago.
We're gonna get on both sides.
Yeah. Whew, my hair looks like poofy right about now. All right. If anybody has to tell y'all about who these men represent, you see them on the side of the road, and they're taking money for children. Shriner and Shriner. Oh my God, you remind me of my dad. I ain't seen these fed hats, and I still got them. He gave them. He passed them down to my brother. Okay, back to you. All right, y'all two. Introduce yourself, and what bring you out to the NRA Convention?
So we're here obviously we're here representing our fraternity, Shriners, and as Shriners we own Shriners Hospital for Children, and so we treat children at no charge, specifically orthopedic children, problems with orthopedic bones and stuff like that, and skin, or most people refer to it as burns, but we treat any kind of skin conditions, and so we're here at the NRA Convention is our local shrine center is Shriners here in Atlanta, and we're just right down the road from here on 400 Ponce de Leon Avenue here in Atlanta, and we have what is called the world's largest sportsman's raffle.
What is that?
So what we do is we have 125 prizes.
Okay.
We give away $150,000 in cash prizes. Grand prize is a beautiful red truck, a 2025 truck. That truck is sponsored by Hardy Automotive Group out of Dallas, Georgia. The other prizes, there's $15,000 in cash given away. Then there is the rest of the prizes are firearms related items that come from Bass Pro Shops, which is our other.
Wait. I didn't know Bass. I thought they took the guns out of the stores. I thought
Bass Pro. Oh Lord, no. They've got lots of guns.
Oh, that's dead list.
Yeah.
Oh, okay then.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't go there.
Y'all do so much, not only for children. We see y'all on the side of the road taking up money, taking up collections, taking up blessings. That's what I call it.
Yes.
But y'all do more. Shriners are more than just that. Y'all are like one of the front men and organizations that stood up for our nation. And not only stood up for our nation, but y'all standing up for the children in the future.
Yes, ma'am.
What made y'all join?
The brotherhood that we work for our charity and for kids and stuff with orthopedic burns,
Yes, ma'am.
and to make sure that these kids are well taken care of and live a life.
You gotta have a big heart.
We really do. We have we actually take children to the hospital. We have people called road rangers, and we have vans and stuff. You can drive, whatever. We will haul your child and yourself up to the hospital, and we'll put, if you have to stay overnight, we will put you up.
He's a great man.
He is a great man.
You are a great man. No, your soul, your whole aura is, you are a really great man. You do this out of the kindness of your heart, not because you really, really want to.
I'm not going to bore you up.
My passion is to take care of children and stuff, and make sure they're well, and they have the fire chains like me and you. If they have a problem, orthopedic or whatever, our mission goal is to make them whole until you are able to function in the world and have a great life.
You got more brothers like him?
Yes, ma'am.
All of y'all are like this?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you have to how you only got good people in y'all organization? That's what y'all looking for. How do y'all?
We're looking for great men.
Yes.
Is what we're looking for. And so there's a process. You have to be a Mason first. And so we just don't take in applications off the road to become a Mason. So basically, how we said is have to ask one to be one, and then there's a process of where we go through and make sure that you're not a bad person. Make sure you're someone that's not going out here doing bad things in the world.
My dad was a single father, and he was a Shriner and a Mason.
Yes, ma'am.
And everything, I keep looking at y'all, and my childhood is like, y'all are a great organization. Y'all really do stuff, not only for children, y'all do so much outreach. Y'all took the biblical principles of taking care of widows and the less fortunate in our nation and in the world. That's what sets Shriners apart, of course, in your fists. Okay, your hats are line. You can see that a mile away. But y'all have honorable men in your organization that goes above and beyond y'all call. Is that what sets y'all aside from every other organization inside of America?
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all continue being good. You guys make me cry because I just lost my daddy. And every time I'm looking at y'all, I'm just remembering how I was raised.
I did not know your dad, but I can assure you, and you know this, he was a great individual.
And a big heart.
Had a big heart.
I'm so impressed with y'all right
He
now.
joined Masonry and Shriner for the same reasons as we did.
Damn, I didn't think I was going to get emotional. I keep doing this, and I keep doing that. And everything that I grew up with and around y'all, because, you know, I was a young girl and he was a single dad, so I got to go in places that no other child could go. And y'all have always took care of me. Even when I was in and out with my daddy, y'all took care of me. And now y'all are taking care of the future.
Yes, ma'am.
When y'all do this out of the kindness of your heart, do y'all stay in touch with the families that y'all help out?
We do. So, Shriners Hospitals have changed through the years. As used to get into Shriners Hospitals, you sort of had to be a sponsor, meaning if you had a child that something was wrong, you had to come to me or Robert or your dad or something like that, and we had to get you in the hospital. So we've changed that through the years where it's a 1-800 number, people can call. And I'm still old school, but I believe in taking these children myself. I personally make these calls to the hospital. And so I can tell you, I've been a Shriner for over 20 years, and I can tell you that I've got patients that I sponsored 20 years ago that I still stay in contact with. These young kids, I guess would be what I would say, but they're in their 20s now, and still keep up with these folks, and I make sure that they're okay. Do they need anything? You know, once they get 21 years old, they're aged out of our hospital because they're not a child anymore as far as our hospital system is concerned. But still, folks like Robert and I, we believe in keeping up with these people. And
So y'all are mentors in the real life, too.
we try to be, yes, ma'am.
Do y'all ever just fall in love with these kids and follow them for the rest of their life and they can just pick up the phone and call you?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
every one of them has our number, our straight cell phone number. If we have a kid, like I say, any kid I ever walk through the hospital, whatever, I'll follow up with those kids. I'll follow up. Most of the time, I am a road runner, and I take kids to the hospital myself. Everything as a road runner. I stay behind once these children grow and become young men and young ladies. And stuff. Matter of fact, we got to the temple this morning, and one of our nobles was waiting on 2 patients to go to treatment for treatment today. And so we talked with him for a few minutes, and he got ready to do it. But like I say, Bruce is the CEO of 2020, and I'll come to 2023.
You're the CEO?
23.
Oh, okay.
20 Bruce.
Y'all's 2 powerful individuals then.
I don't know about that, but I don't like to think I'm powerful of anything other than maybe getting to talk to pretty ladies like you.
And that's my husband.
I'm sorry, but you can't help it. You got a beautiful lady, right?
Exactly.
So
What can we do to help y'all?
what we would like is, what would just tickle us immensely is if every person in this show would come over to our booth,
Where your booth?
2757.
Why is it on the other side of the room?
That's where they put us.
That's a walk.
We would love for every person to come over there and purchase a $20 ticket for a chance to win that $150,000.
Is it on here?
Yes,
Is
ma'am.
everybody out there, is there a website they can go on?
Yes, ma'am. ShrineRaffle.net.
ShrineRaffle.net. You can win a 2025 GMC Sierra 1500 4x4. You know what?
Hey, we ain't got a car at all right now, so
Well, give him $20 and get in the raffle. So y'all, get over there, support the Shriners. Y'all make this tugging at my heart. I am so grateful. What y'all do for children and their families.
Well, people like you and people out here in the public helps us keep our hospital going with donations that they donate to help secure these kids at no cost, no matter what the bill is. It's no cost to the patient's parent, whatever. And but all the folks in this world that have got the quarter in the budget or 5 cents in the budget, all that adds up to help our hospital to succeed and get more technology and better treatment for each and every kid who gets our treatment. It's thanks to the public.
And how that works is that we can't do it without folks just like you and every other individual out here that makes a dollar donation. We couldn't do anything without all of the public. And so that's what makes it so great, is especially here in Georgia, is I ask some questions, but I didn't know you. And so I asked some questions, and what really makes me happy is you sitting here. You're a lady that's involved in the sporting industry.
And I'm running for the board of directors.
And that's right, I was getting to that. And you're running for the board of directors. And when they asked me, would we come over here and speak, I said, absolutely.
And we do a nightly show, 2 hours a night, Monday through Friday. We take articles from around the world, and if it goes against my God, my family, or my industry, I just rip you a new one.
I hope you do. And I do the same thing. I may get politically incorrect with some folks, but
maybe we need to go back to politically incorrect, because right now we're walking on eggshells while we're losing our nation at the same time.
yes, ma'am. I agree.
Woo, we got a lot to talk about. Can y'all come on my regular show?
When you name the time and place, and I'll be there.
You live in Georgia?
Yes, ma'am. I live in Chatsworth, Georgia.
I live in Loganville.
I know exactly. We got a shrine club in Loganville called Loganville Shrine Club.
You know what I said, Dave? You want to come by the house and actually come to the studio?
All you got to do is tell us. He lives in Chatsworth as well. We'll be happy to come in.
And y'all go sit on the show.
We'll say it anytime you want.
Dave, you're going to get all the cards and stuff?
Yep, get with Stan right over here.
Fellas. What I'm about to do is go put on some heels and go hang around with rich women.
Now, I don't like shaking hands with ladies. That's something, I don't care if husband is sitting here. We're going to hug.
That's
right.
We all hug. Beautiful ladies.
Thank y'all so much. But y'all, Sam Fitzgerald is getting ready to sit in. I'm going to go run and put on some heels.
Oh, God, I hate that.
And go to a gala that they're going to be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on. So, let me go look at the
Well, we want you to go enjoy yourself.
I am. They got food and free booze.
Hey,
All
there
right.
you go.
So, everybody, Dave, are you ready to go live on your phone?
I might need your help to hook it up to your Facebook, but yeah.
No, I'm saying you can record, go live. It doesn't
Okay, record,
matter.
yes.
Okay. Stan, you
That's
good with
easy.
that?
Well, actually, Marco's going to sit in.
Oh,
So you're going to have the top quality talk show host from Maryland rather than
hey!
me.
Well, I ain't leaving just yet. Come on, Sheriff. How are you doing? Wow. And you a young sheriff at that. All right, then. Marco?
Yes, ma'am.
You almost ready? I got it. Come on over here.
Come over. Make it like a part of the world.
Yeah. I'm going. I ain't going nowhere until I interview you. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
You look like you come from Montana.
I do.
You need to come to Georgia.
I'm here.
How old are you?
I'm, oh my gosh, 48.
You are the youngest sheriff?
I didn't think about it. I don't think so. I don't know.
Why did you run for sheriff?
Oh gosh. It needed to be done for our community.
How big is your community?
About 85,000 people.
minute. What town?
Great Falls. Great Falls. Great
Wait a
Falls.
minute. That's not a small area.
No, Great Falls, Maryland.
Do you have a lot of crime in this area?
Yeah, fair amount. Yeah.
Do you feel like the city is encroaching on your way of life?
I don't know. Montana's pretty unique. It's pretty conservative. We don't deal with a lot of issues that we see around the country, but then when something happens around the country that's really controversial, there'll be certain groups, smaller individual people who bring in those ideologies.
But you're having the rich people, you're having the liberals, you're having the Californians, New York. They're moving to Montana, and they're bringing their ideology with you.
That was happening. So weird thing happened. So prior to COVID, that was completely the era. They were moving like places. I grew up in Bozeman. We call it Los Angeles now.
When are you going to invite me to Montana? I've never been to Montana.
Oh yeah, it's a good time. But just come and song.
Okay.
Because everything's just fun.
Okay.
But anyway, that was happening prior to COVID. And once COVID happened, believe it or not, Montana was kind of a blue state. Our governor and the governor was a Democrat. Our senators and Republicans. It was a very, I don't know, powerful, but kind of blue leading. And then after COVID,
Why you feel that? Because they took away people's rights and shut them up in their homes?
and then all those people left those big cities and they came to Montana for freedom. And the problem is though, it's still driving the cost of Montana up because people basically cash out in California or some bigger area for $1 million in cash.
And then come and buy the property.
Come buy a property. And the other thing that hurts Montana is that all of our taxes are driven by property tax. So if a bunch of people buy a bunch of homes all around you and they go way up, the value you're not going to pay. And so the struggle is it is pushing Montana down.
What's your background in order for you to run for sheriff?
So I started law enforcement in the year 2000. I was deputy sheriff for a couple of years. And then I went to work for the Great Falls Police Department for 17 years. My last probably, I think it was like 7 or 8, I was an internet crimes and instructor detective.
You don't see some
Yeah. Went all over the country, chased down pedophiles.
You don't put up with that shit in your town.
No. It was maybe next to this job, it was probably the most fulfilling thing you can do. I never woke up in the morning and didn't feel like I had a break. There was children out there that needed protected. We had to get protected.
You are the highest constitutional law officer in your state, in your county. Do you feel like if Washington turns back blue and they start trying to encroach on Montana, when you hold the reins and keep your county to a sanctuary?
I hope so. That's always the idea. So Montana passed, and I actually supported when I went testify and supported it. We passed some really cool legislation. One is we have a constitutional carry. So, and then if you have a permit Montana, you're only prohibited blazing in school. That's it. So everything, banks, government buildings, you name it, you carry it.
But normally, as we're seeing, gun-free zone is a shooting spree for criminals. How can you train your officers to tase players? I mean, because some of them need to be tased.
That's a thing, I'm sure. But the thing that we have to really focus on, and the hard part about having our constitution, right, is if we wanted to make America a perfect state, we could do it. We could do it. We could make America a perfect state, but nobody would have any rights. Nobody would have any guns. And freedom, there's a cost to freedom. And people have to realize they have to deal with a little bit of danger to have freedom. And if you don't understand that, you'll never really understand what freedom college principles.
Well, if we gave up our 2A, the government will overtake us in other countries.
Well, they're already trying to overtake us, even with the 2A. they manipulate it. That's what they manipulate it. They create goofy sanctions and goofy laws, you know, that inhibit our ability to carry and put us in places where you can carry all these places, but the actual place you might need it, but you can't carry it.
And now we see what happened.
Absolutely. You know, we have, I'm really proud of they passed a mill levy a couple of years ago, and we have a really robust school safety plan. And we are school staff. We have a lot of school resource officers. We work really
Y'all signed up for the school shield here from the NRA. They give grants up to $1 million.
I need to go sign up now.
It's called School Shield. And they work with local law enforcement to fund the local law enforcement to help out inside of the school.
Where do I go do that? Okay, I'll get Jay tickets. No, it is.
You get money from the NRA.
Awesome. Well, I'm working on something right now, and I really want to get the word out. And I'm a little frustrated with my local representatives because I'm not getting a lot of feedback. I have a solution called Solve School Safety. And here's the reason we have to solve this basically. If we protect our kids in our school, we protect our kids. Because we all see the BS narrative every time it's bullshit, right? Let's take away everyone's liberty because some monster is like, right? Okay, that's not the answer. The answer is to fix the problem. So here's my solution. Donald Trump right now is running on tariffs. He wants to get cut down on federal income tax. If you're a retired law enforcement or military personnel, you come work for a sheriff that's already served. We can as sheriffs, we can basically call on a posse, which is and basically sheriffs have the authority to tell their community how to get help. It's not really that, it's actually a posse.
So when our founding father said a well-regulated militia is necessary to the freedom of the free state,
it is by proxy, but a posse would be more of a law enforcement context than a military context. The militia context, in my understanding of reading the Constitution, is a lot more militaristic, meaning like a tyrannical government or an invasion of we do in some places.
Y'all got high mountains. You can just pick them off from the valley.
But so here's the solution. If you're a retired law enforcement or military and you come sign up for me to work in a school to protect kids, we're going to train you, we're going to issue you weapons, you're going to have to shoot a higher standard than everybody else. But I want the federal government to pass a law that says you don't have to pay federal income tax. So that's a first. I am trying to create the buzz. We need to get this law passed because if we do that, that's a 40% increase in tax. It's doing two things, right? It's very little cost. It's a slight loss of revenue. It's very slight. There's probably 100,000 schools that need water security. Yes. Okay, there's 100,000 people in LA right now that don't pay taxes. Minimum. I mean, there's millions probably. I'm just saying. So why aren't we do it for something positive? Okay. I've been talking to everybody. I've reached out to Senator Dane, Senator Cheeky, Congressman Downey, Congressman Zinke. I'm working with Sheriff Lance, helping with Monroe County. We've been working with him, trying to get the word out.
Why don't you reach out to Congressman Andrew Clyde? Andrew Clyde actually I endorsed him. He sold me my first gun.
Okay.
Andrew Clyde was the one that Lois Lerner and IRS went after.
Okay.
And tried to sue him, and he won. Okay. So he decided to get in politics, and now he is the 9th District Congressman. He owns armories. He teaches women how their gun rights, teaches them how to train, and he's all about the 2A. So he ran, wasn't 2A. He knows what it is. And if anybody in Washington, D.C. that has a reason to help you out, it is Congressman Andrew Clyde.
I will reach out to him immediately. But no, we got to get this done because here's the key. We protect. So first of all, we have to start treating our children. Like, we have to protect them better than we protect our money.
Right.
We protect our money with armored vehicles.
You didn't hear what happened here in Atlanta yesterday? 4 YNs jumped on a Hispanic policeman. Jumped him, beat him down. there gotta be some consequences to their actions. How do we do that?
Well, that's a whole other conversation. You know, but the first thing I think we have to do is we have to establish that you go into a school and you have bad intent, you're going to be met with a violent person who's trained,
Yes.
and who's going to end you for doing it.
Can you do that?
Absolutely.
Can we get that across the state?
You got it. This is. I truly feel like I'm not going to leave my office as a sheriff until it's accomplished because I mean I protect the kids back there. And the thing that makes me mad is apathy.
Apathy is what's going to kill America.
It is killing them. But if we can get rid of that attitude, this is a simple, low-cost solution.
Dude, I can talk to you all damn day.
But here's the other thing.
Yeah?
What's happening to our veterans right now?
They're getting spit on just like it was in Vietnam. They probably homeless on the street.
Well, they also are losing their purpose. They do all this dedicated service. They're warriors. Depend on them.
Y'all used to be warriors. In the last 15 years, hate the police.
Yeah.
Fight the police, disrespect the police, defund the police. So in the last, to be honest, Barack Obama started this thing. How do we change this back? Because I was always raised, you respect law, order, military. Because I'm a military, I'm from a military family. And now, it's disappointing how y'all being treated.
Well, and if they retire and they get out, they lose their purpose in life. They don't know what to do. Hey, let's give them a job where they protect vulnerable people. They protect the schools.
That's a great suggestion. Why don't you get up? You want to run for president?
No. I want to, you know, I love what I do. I have a great team. I have great people.
Yeah, I don't see you just being in Montana.
But I just love.
You want to be a spokesperson for something?
Sure.
Wait,
Can
hold
it be for protecting kids?
Yes, actually, that's what ran through my head. The spokesperson for the sheriffs for the protection of our youth.
Yeah.
The
All day long.
Yeah, because y'all have a association already.
Yep.
Every sheriff goes through the association. So if you have that in the next association meeting, you need to stand up and say, hey, can we have a subcommittee of sheriffs protecting our youth? And then work way off of it. And it should be in every 50 states.
I totally agree.
And you will be the spokesperson.
Well, I'll earn that title, but I want to earn it through passing this law. I want to get it done. You got to get it done fast. Every day that we wait, there are people out there who I think are purposely attacking our kids in our school. They're doing it on purpose. They're doing it to destroy our country, to destroy our way of life, to create a narrative, to take away our liberty. I mean, can you imagine the sickness to murder a child? And not only the psycho of that, okay? Now you're going to use that platform to take away everybody else's liberty. It's disgusting. But the problem is, you will get so many people throughout this country.
They already almost did.
They almost exactly. Look at Colorado. They just got rid of like every single automatic weapon.
Did you?
Yes. They just passed a law.
It's going to the Supreme Court.
Well, I hope. I hope. But I mean, that, and you got to look at Colorado, though. Columbine. All those, and there's, I can't remember their names, but there's been a bunch, right? Well, they're using that narrative to push.
Then you need to push this narrative. Each and every last one of those psychopaths was on psychotropic drugs.
Absolutely.
So maybe if you stop pumping our children with these pharmaceutical drugs, you won't have so many maniacs running loose. And then when they go out there and break the law, it's this and get out. So you're bound to repeat everything that just got you in trouble to begin with.
Well, and families are falling apart. So a lot of these kids who are going through hard time, they don't have parents. They don't have parents that are
I got beat down.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Disrespect anybody, but I come from a military family, so yeah, I didn't have no choice. It was yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. And you salute, and you just know how to act.
Absolutely.
And now we have 9 grandbabies, and they know how to act. Okay, because I ain't having it. I am not going to be waking up in the middle of the night. Do you know where your grandchild is? No, I don't. They better be at home in the bed.
Absolutely.
So,
God bless you. God bless
You
you.
know that's my mentor.
Oh, yeah, that's your mentor, huh?
For the NRA.
The Sheriff Prince. Yeah.
He was one of the first ones to say, "Get your ass over here." You
Why they
smoke?
whisper it?
He's one of my biggest
They're talking crap about you.
mentors and allies in this whole entire organization.
He's a Montanan.
I know it.
I didn't hear anything.
Don't tell me what to say.
I won't.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, God bless you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, God
Hey,
bless you.
Sheriff, can we get a pose picture?
Absolutely.
I want to get one too, just behind you.
Down women, he is married. Okay, he is
Okay, behind you.
married. I even looked at the hand just in case I wanted to throw him out there, but he's married.
And she's tougher than me.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Awesome.
And
Thanks,
has great
guys.
choice of headgear.
I don't think I'm gonna make that women thing, but you ready? You ready to switch?
Sure.
Yeah, because it look like you got an interview right behind you. You with the sheriff? Are you with you the deputy?
All right, cool.
Is he your deputy?
He is.
That's your man right
He
there.
is. I know.
Bodyguard.
You
Yes.
he don't need nobody.
He's taking care
He
of me.
don't need nobody. Y'all, I'll be right back. I'm lying. Marco will be.
Now you gotta take your phone, right?
Huh?
You have to take your phone.
Yes.
So sign off.
Everybody, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Get out there and share. Make sure you go to Fallback Productions to look it up. Go to fallbackusa.myshopify.com. You know what? I gotta go run. I will see y'all later. Thank you.